Okay, so I don't have a lot of fancy equipment in my classroom for videos, but Too Cool for Middle School inspired me to make a teacher video on YouTube, and I'm excited to get started. So it's kind of like a little interview, and the first question is, what grade do you teach? And I teach third grade. I teach third grade reading, writing, and social studies. This is the first year at our school. It's a charter school that decided to do the decompartmentalizing as early as third grade, and because it's a testing year, it has worked out so well for us, just, you know, developing our skills as one or two subject teachers, and just the kids get a lot more out of it, we think. Number two, what adjective best describes you as a teacher? So this one's interesting because I asked a student to describe adjectives, and they were like the typical cute, simple things, but if I were to describe myself in one adjective, probably would be innovative. Not only do I take what, you know, Pinterest has as ideas, but I can also kind of take things and look at them from a different perspective and come up with something brand new. And I really enjoy doing that, kind of starting from scratch, different things like that. So that's number two. Number three, which movie star would play you as a teacher? Okay, so when I was going over the list of questions, I was trying to think, and I have three that I think would probably play me, but the one that sticks heavily in my mind is probably Anne Hathaway, just because she's super funny, she's super quirky, and all of her roles that she's ever played in kind of just, her characters remind me of myself, so I really think she would be a perfect actress to play me in a movie as a teacher. Think of a lesson you're especially proud of. Okay, this one's so hard because there have been so many, but I am trying to think of a time. It's probably my interactive engaging lessons. Anytime I can use Kahoot or fun get up and go strategies during a lesson, those are always my favorite. There was one time during an observation that I chose to do social studies, and we have a social studies magazine, and that's how the kids look up the information. They learn how to highlight and take little notes here and there with important names, information, and dates. And I just remember I played a Kahoot with them. So it was like a scavenger hunt. I'd have the questions that were going to be on the test on that Friday. And as, you know, in small groups, they would be put into small groups, and they would go on a scavenger hunt. They had 60 seconds to find the answer in that magazine. And if they highlighted correctly, they would be able to find that and play it efficiently. So that is one of my best lessons or favorite lessons, more than likely the engaging ones. And then I follow up with an exit ticket, which a lot of teachers are starting to do. Very Pinteresty, but it's a great way to not only engage the students, but also kind of follow up to see where they're at within the lesson. And so my principal knows quite well that exit tickets are a great follow-up after the lesson to do. So I would do that after the scavenger hunt. Just put a question up on the board, and they would have to, before they left my class to rotate to another class, they would have to answer that question. And that's always really, really fun and a great way to end a lesson. Number five, a student you'll remember forever. Okay, I absolutely love teaching, and it's very hard to choose just one student that I'll remember forever, because there's a lot of students that stick out in my mind when that question popped up. But before I became a full-time teacher, I was a long-term sub, so that means that I took over for teachers that were on maternity leave, different things like that, and so on and so forth. And there was this one student that, you know, I was substitute teaching in that class, and it was in the town that I was subbing in was kind of slightly impoverished, and he was very upset because his brother was no longer at that school anymore because he had moved up to 6th grade, and so he was kind of acting up and acting out. But when I came onto the scene, he just stuck with me, and you know, a lot of people were saying different things like, you know, since you came around, he just really is liking school again, and different things, you know, because it was tough on him that his brother wasn't wasn't no longer at the school anymore. So I'm not gonna name names, but he will forever stick in my mind. And I don't know, he seemed to be rough around the edges, but they always stick in my mind. And so he was a great kid. Let's see, number 6. How do you feel about the teaching profession at this point in the year? Okay, I am exhausted, but I also feel challenged. Those are the 2 words that come to mind to answer that question. Super tired, and I also feel challenged for next year because I went from teaching 1st grade last year to 3rd grade, which is a testing year. It was a total leap and jump. And it did make me feel a little bit nervous, you know, just because it's a testing year. I didn't know what to expect. And I had always taught, even substitute taught, 1st and 2nd grade. So as far as the curriculum goes, I had no clue. But I feel challenged, tired, and confident to kind of go into next year and be ready to take it on fully. And that's that on number 6. Number 7. How do you keep your job fun and engaging no matter how long you've been teaching? Well, I've been substitute taught for about 4 years, and this is my 2nd year being a full-time teacher. And I have to say, just keep laughing with my colleagues. Have inside jokes. You know, one of the things that keeps our job so much fun and not boring is 2 things. What to do as a teacher with the kids and what to do as a teacher with your colleagues. If you're with your colleagues, have a fun group text message. You know, where we have a group text message and there's 5 of us. So, you know, we can have inside jokes throughout the day. We can do some funny, you know, things, encouraging messages to each other. That keeps it fun and engaging as in a colleague perspective, because you need that. If you're not laughing in this profession or having a good time, you'll probably go crazy. As fun and as engaging as it is, and it's a great profession, you do need to have some tactics up your sleeve in order to handle it well and professionally. And you can do it tactfully and have a good time with your colleagues. As far as keeping my job fun and engaging with the students, a lot of engaging lessons. I think if the students are inspired, engaged, and they know they can succeed, they will. If they're not engaged, you've lost them already. Classroom management is my biggest achievement, if you will. I feel like I've developed it over the years. I've worked in aftercare since I was 18, so I've been able to see different dynamics of students, different dynamics of behavior, and I've been able to kind of perfect it as the years have gone on. And number 1, I really do think that when students are well managed, they are able to learn successfully. When they are well engaged and inspired, they will be able to take the task full on. And sometimes you just have to stop the lesson and be goofy. That is like, even with my colleagues, even with my students, sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let's just talk about life for a minute. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? I have funny voices. I do funny things sometimes as I'm teaching. Keeping it engaging for the kids and having a good time, they're going to not only remember you forever, but they're going to learn. So that's number 7. Number 8, what has surprised you about this year? The grade. The grade, most definitely, because last year, at this time last year, my principal and the dean of students came up to me and he's like, okay, they're both thinking, we want you to go to 3rd. And I was like, what? I don't like tests. I don't like having to test. There's no way I'm going to feel confident enough to do this. But one of the things that has surprised me about this year is that the grade is not as bad as people make it out to be. I feel like if you're ready to download the information that you've been given to the students in a fun, inspiring, and engaging way, there are testing strategies, covering the knowledge and the content that will be on the state tests. It's really not that bad. And granted, I'm nervous, you know, scores are scores. It can be nerve-wracking sometimes, but I think the biggest thing that has surprised me has been the grade, and I'm absolutely in love with this grade. So I could say that at the very end. I really enjoy it. Number 9, what are your favorite teacher social media accounts? This one's my favorite one because as much as all of the teachers on YouTube and Instagram combined, they inspire me. 2 stand out the most to me. Pocketful of Primary and It's Monique's World. And I follow them, both of them, almost religiously because they are so engaging, so fun, and they have similar teaching styles to myself. And moving on into number 10, dream teacher collaboration. If we lived closer, I would collaborate with either one of them. So I pretty much answered 9 and 10, and there you go. Number 11, what is the last thing you took a picture of? And I will go ahead and send that over to a slide on this video. But I took a picture to show one of my other colleagues this, my little end of year board. It says, pop into summer, how many school days left? So the students end up every day, it shows the number of days left. They pop a balloon, and on the board will be an activity each day, a fun activity, an engaging activity for them to enjoy on that day. And then the very last balloon, this number 1, it says number 1 because that would be 1 day left, and it's like a string of tassels, and there's confetti in there to pop. So I love that kind of stuff. So much fun. And so that was the very last picture that I took. Number 12, sing the last song you listened to. Oh my goodness, that's funny. It was probably, oh gosh, it was probably a worship song on the way to school, and I think it was an old song, an old hymn called Be Still. Or no, it was the new one about something, you move the mountains, something like that. I don't know, I was worshiping this morning and I can't remember which song, but I'm pretty sure that was the song it was, and that would be by Elevation Church, I want to say. So I kind of sung it, not really, but I don't remember all of the lyrics to it. Number 13, if I weren't a teacher, I'd be an actress or a writer. And I have to agree with Too Cool for Middle School on this, because she had said the coolest thing about being a teacher is that you can do other things on the side. And my biggest dream right now on the side is to write a book, an encouraging and inspirational book for women. So that is in the works. However, if I weren't a teacher, I would definitely be an actress. I miss theater, I miss being on stage, and I'm very animated. So that's kind of cool to be able to plug into the classroom. And number 14, last but not least, who is your teaching hero? And to end this video, I have to say my teaching hero was my 4th grade teacher. You know who you are. And she wasn't only my 4th grade teacher, but she was also my 8th grade middle school math teacher as well. And she's my hero. And one of the things I so totally appreciate about her is that not only did she make learning fun and engaging, she really believes in you. She really believed in me. She knew I struggled in math and struggled with taking tests, and she would not just leave me stranded, she would send home videos of math songs. She would send me home, well, at that time I was 4th grade, and that was back in I want to say 1997. So we had CD-ROMs, we had discs, and we'd take it home and listen to our CD player, and it'd be like multiplication raps. And I appreciate her because she helped me be confident in my own learning. And if there's one thing that I want to strive, it's to be just as great as a teacher as she is, or as she was, because I think she's retired, but she's super awesome, and I appreciate her greatly. So that is the end of my video, and tag, you're it, teachers.